What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's episode of The Sports Sermon. We are brought to you by Scooch, the most functional phone case on the market. Check out ScoochCase.com to get yours today and use the code SPORTS18, sports with a Z, of course, to get a 10% discount on your order. Stay tuned till the end for a special Scooch giveaway as well. But now, today's episode.
Hello and welcome inside the Sports Sermon. It is me, Dylan Staggy, and Jason Gandhi here with you today. And as you can tell by the title, we have breaking news. We are hopping on the podcast just a couple minutes after the latest trade in the NBA happened. Carmelo Anthony has been sent to the Atlanta Hawks for Dennis Schroeder, Mike Muscala, and a protected pick in 2022. So, Jason, what are your initial thoughts on this trade?
Yeah, so the big initial things, when you look at it from the Thunder side, is just how much money they're going to be saving. They're going to save nearly $100 million in salary and luxury tax, and they don't even have to stretch it. That's really important for the Thunder. When they just got Paul George to a max deal, they signed Nerlens Noel, and if he works out, they're going to want to sign him back next year. And now they have Dennis Schroeder, who they've got to worry about in a few years. His contract's $15.5 million, but they saved a lot of money. They obviously got an upgrade with Schroeder versus Anthony, and despite the awkward fit, it was good to get rid of Carmelo Anthony's contract without having to pay anything. When I look at it from the Atlanta side, it really doesn't make much sense to me. Now they've got to pay him the $28 million that's already came out. They're going to give him the entire buyout of $27.9 million. They don't get him as a player, which good or bad, they lose him, and they got rid of Mike Muscala, who was a pretty good backup big in this league. I just don't know why, because they weren't tight for cap. Like, they should have used it on more players, and I don't really think it makes much sense getting rid of Dennis Schroeder for almost nothing. But definitely from the Thunder side, it is a big boost in the owner's pockets for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looking at it from the Hawks side, obviously that protected pick in 2022 probably isn't going to amount to anything. I'm not too worried about Muscala because, I mean, he's a great guy to really be your probably 8th, 9th, 10th man off the bench on a winning team. But the Hawks are obviously in tank mode, which is why they wanted to get rid of him and Schroeder. And really, they just must not have been able to find a great offer from Schroeder and wanted to get him off the books and try to let Trae Young, who is honestly, I mean, they're both ball-dominant guys, and they probably want to get him on the floor this season. Obviously, Schroeder didn't want to play for them, so they did get rid of that mess. And then from the Thunder side, bringing it back to that, I think it's a great move for them because they were thinking about waiving and stretching Carmelo Anthony. Now they don't have to worry about that salary over the next few years for someone that they don't have. And instead of that, they got a player back for him, which if they waited and stretched Melo, they would have gotten nothing back for them. And now they have Schroeder, who can come off the bench behind Russell Westbrook and really just take some pressure off of him. We know Russell Westbrook, especially a couple of years ago, has just had so much pressure on him to create all the scoring opportunities, everything like that, so he can take a few more minutes off per game now. Let Schroeder do that at a pretty solid efficiency off the bench.
So there's more news in this trade. It is going to be Carmelo Anthony and Dennis Schroeder also being moved, but Mike Muscala is actually going to go to Philadelphia, and Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot is going to go to Oklahoma City, and their player that they had, Justin Anderson, is going to Atlanta. So a lot of movement with, I think that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 player deals, so pretty big deal. I actually really like the Muscala pickup for the Sixers.
I mean, they lost out on Bjelica. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
When he wanted to go stay in Europe, even though he's looking to join the Kings now, apparently. But Mike Muscala, pretty similar player to him, a big that can shoot it, and so they can replace him pretty easily with this deal. Get rid of Luwawu-Cabarrot, who really didn't do anything for them.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it from 2018, 2019, this trade basically wipes out any salary cap flexibility for the Hawks, but you do get out of the contract that Schroeder had going into 2021, which gives you a lot of flexibility moving forward. obviously we all knew Schroeder was going to be traded as soon as Jeremy Lin got traded to the Hawks and they got Trae Young, obviously. There was no real debate on where Schroeder was going to go, but now it was just a matter of where he was going to go and how much he could get back. I personally still believe they could have gotten more than a future first-rounder that's probably going to be heavily protected. But, I mean, you look at it from all sides of the team. I really like what the Sixers did with Mike Muscala. He's going to be a great backup to go behind Joel Embiid. I really like the Justin Anderson fit to Atlanta. That's a new part that's coming in. I like that because he's still young, showed kind of potential, and if he gets more space and the ball, he could do something somewhat effective as a role player. And then at the side from the Thunder, like I said, they saved a lot of money and probably they obviously got an upgrade in Dennis Schroeder. The fit, I think, is kind of weird because the second that Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder have to argue over minutes, it's going to be a disaster. But
I think Russell's getting however many minutes he wants, and then Schroeder's filling out the rest. I'm more concerned about when they play at the same time.
I don't see how they can. Neither can shoot well enough to play at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's really a minutes issue. I think it's really when they're both on the court at the same time.
I guess for me, I see it as a minutes issue because you're not going to have Dennis Schroeder play the 7 minutes that Russell Westbrook doesn't play. You're not going to limit him to that, and I do not see a way they're successful if both of them are on the court. Update with the picks. The pick the Thunder are sending is lottery protected. If it doesn't convey in 2022, then it'll become 2 second-rounders. So really, it's not very valuable at all. So yeah, really surprising trade. I knew there was a lot of talk with Carmelo going to the Hawks, but I thought they'd at least get something more, whether it be maybe Nerlens Noel, someone that's of some more value than just Carmelo. But it is what it is. The Hawks will have a lot of financial flexibility in the upcoming years. The Thunder are trying to make a playoff push to defeat the Warriors, Rockets, Lakers.
All right, and then Melo is going to be stretched, or not stretched. He'll probably just be waived outright this season for the Hawks. So he's going to be a free agent. Are we both in agreement he's headed to the Rockets?
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, that's how it sounds. I truly think the Rockets got worse than they were last year. Losing Trevor Ariza, I think that is definitely a downgrade. Getting Melo, now he's going to have an ego alongside him, and obviously he's not going to be worried about money because he's still getting his $29 million, or $28 million. But I'm not a fan of Melo's ego, and for the role he's going to have to play, I'm not sure how it's going to fit. It's going to be an interesting time down in Texas with James Harden, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony, all guys that have to have the ball in their hands to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think he's also headed to Houston, but they're definitely going to be very bad defensively, especially when they lost Trevor Ariza and also Luka Mbah-a-Moute too, another one of those forwards that can come off the bench, switch on anybody. Melo's not that guy, so he will not be able to do those same things. I mean, he's just way past his prime and will not really be able to bring much else to the Rockets besides a little bit of scoring. So
yeah, like I said, I don't think the Rockets got better. I'm not a fan of the moves they've made, and I am curious to see if they're even able to compete with the Golden State Warriors.
All right, so any last thoughts about this trade, Jason?
Not really. I mean, I don't think it's going to shake up the league in any big way. I think the biggest thing is just move. I think really the ramifications from this trade are going to be in the coming years as we see flexibility at the Hawks. We see the Thunder not having to pay as much money as they were. It really is a salary cap trade more than an immediate impact kind of trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of thing. The Thunder wanted to get rid of Melo, and the Hawks wanted to get rid of Schroeder because he didn't want to be there. And I think that's about all there is to this. Melo's going to be a free agent and join the Rockets just like we all expected. But that's going to do it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed. And we also have some thoughts about the Kawhi Leonard trade that should be up on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify. Where else are we? iTunes.
Yep.
And then follow us on Twitter too, @TheSportsSermon. And if you listen to our new intro, we hope you enjoyed that and that contest that we were talking about. All of our new subscribers and all of the people that comment below on the video will be entered into a contest for a Scooch Wingman case. So make sure you either subscribe or comment, and you will be automatically entered into that. But that's all we have for you today, and we will see you next time on The Sports Sermon.